It is Monday, and we are already off to a hot news start for the Green Bay Packers as Justin, a former top 10 pick, is visiting Green Bay, is in Green Bay today, Monday, April 14th. We're going to break that all down on today's show. Thank you so much for joining me on this fine Monday afternoon. Before we get into the content, though, we're 16 subs away to 3,000 total subscribers. Thank you so much to every single one of you guys who've joined us along the way. We are growing very rapidly, thanks to you all. To get me to 3K, I need every one of you who isn't subscribed to go down, hit that big red sub button, help me out, and lock us in right now. So who is this former top 10 pick? Well, it is Isaiah Simmons, the 8th overall selection by the Cardinals, formerly played with the New York Giants. Out of Clemson, is visiting Green Bay today. And if you don't know about Simmons, well, now you know, because he was selected by the Arizona Cardinals with the 8th pick of the 2020 NFL draft, that COVID draft that also saw Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and a ton of other studs in that first round get selected. He was traded to New York in 2023 in exchange for just a 7th round pick, only 3 years removed after being top 8 all New York could get, or excuse me, all Arizona could get for him was a 7th rounder. And in his career, he has totaled 308 career tackles, 8.5 career sacks, and by many accounts, I don't want to go out there and say that he's been a bust, but if you talk to a lot of people in Cardinal circles or in Giant circles, they're not too thrilled with his production. So what say you? Before I break it down, I just want to hear your instant thoughts. Should the Packers sign Isaiah Simmons? If you think so, go ahead and give me a Y for yes in the comment section. If you think no, go ahead, type in for no. You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. If that ad break comes, don't worry about it. Go down to the comment section, find this pinned comment, and give me a Y or an N. So while we dive into it, we got to just start off by being honest. Because let's be real, ladies and gentlemen, Simmons has been a massive disappointment, especially for a guy who was selected 8th overall, was touted as one of the best athletes in that class. He was a freak coming out of Clemson. The knock on him, or the excitement on him, rather, was you could put him anywhere on the field. And he just hasn't really produced like people thought he would. His 2021 rookie year, or second year, was really, really great. 106 tackles, a sack and a half, 7 pass breakups, but it's just been decline after decline after decline after that. In the most recent year, 2024, only 21 tackles and 2 pass breakups. So the silver lining for a guy like Isaiah Simmons, bringing him into Green Bay, is he would be rather cheap. Would not cost you a ton at all. And also, the good thing about him, too, is you could really put him anywhere on the field. He would be a really good piece for a guy like Jeff Hafley to use. However, you know that phrase, jack of all trades but master of none? That describes Isaiah Simmons perfectly. Over his career, he's had 79 snaps on the defensive line. 1,300 inside the box. That's where he primarily plays, just as a linebacker. 70 snaps at free safety. 792 on the slot, and 80 at corner. Again, coming out of the draft, everybody's saying this is a guy you could throw anywhere. He's so athletic. He's so strong. He's so quick. He's so good at coverage. He could do anything. And when you're that good at that many different things, are you ever great at anything? And the answer for him is no. So if you're going to sign Isaiah Simmons, if you're going to add him to this roster, I want to tell you this, to not expect anything defensively. That is kind of out of the picture. You saw it this last year with New York. What was it, like 20 tackles? 80 tackles less than he had just 3 years ago. He gave you 2 really good back-to-back years in Arizona, 106 tackles, 99 tackles. But since then has just taken a massive, massive step back. This is a guy who's more of a special teams warrior, okay? Last year, Simmons was the Giants' highest graded special teams player per PFF. Okay, he had, I think, 7 or 8 tackles, didn't miss a single one, was the special teams player of the week at one point when he blocked that field goal. I think it was against the Seahawks in like week 3 or 4 of the NFL season. That's pretty much all you would get from a guy like Isaiah Simmons. I know it's really intriguing to look at the past tape, to look at his time in Cleveland, maybe to look at his first couple of years in Arizona and be like, this dude could be something special, but we got to call a spade a spade. I don't want to keep doing card analogies, but he just doesn't have it anymore. My take on it is I wouldn't be upset about the signing, but I wouldn't be thrilled about it either. It's more of like a zero-sum thing to me, right? It's not going to upset me. I'm not going to be mad about it, but I'm also not going to be freaking out, pounding the table, saying, we just got a steal. This dude can be a freak, because he's just kind of proved over the last couple of years he's kind of just lost that. And also, I think there are bigger fish to fry when it comes defensively, just like edge rusher, right? Like we've talked about a ton. I'm not necessarily interested in adding a guy as a free agent signing that doesn't really specialize at that point, because I think that's the point in this defense that needs the highest specialization, either that or corner, and those are like the two positions he plays the worst, alrighty? So, show me down below. I'll talk about edge rusher targets in a little bit, but do you want the Packers to draft defense in round 1? If you do, if you want them to look at defense from the majority of it, but especially in round 1, go ahead, give me a thumbs up, like today's video. This is your way of voting. Let me know down below. What I do love about this draft is you look at it and you can really say, you know what, you could find a good edge rusher in this draft. You could find a good edge rusher in this class. And what I love about it is, like, it's not the highest top end. Like, outside of Abdul Carter, there's a lot of guys that have some question marks here or there. But also, like, you can find a good guy pretty much in every single round. Let's start with round 1. You could find a guy like James Pierce Jr. He could easily fall to 23. Hell, even Mike Green could possibly fall to 23. And I would like Mike Green over James Pierce, but I think he's got a better chance at it. I think James Pierce Jr. is just one of those guys, one of those special talents who maybe didn't put it together all the way in college, but he still had 7.5 sacks and 55 pressures. But, like, if you get him in the right scheme, in the right system, and I know people don't think he's a scheme or system fit in Green Bay, but, like, all the edge rushers that they brought in recently that have been, they have not really produced. Like, am I right or am I right? And so you bring in a guy like James Pierce Jr. with Jeff Hafley. He could take over. His ceiling is so incredibly high, and I think that round 1 selection, I'd be really, really excited about it. Let's talk about a round 2 guy. He was actually my first mock draft round 1 selection. This is Jack Sawyer out of Ohio State. What I love about Sawyer is that when his team needed him the most, in the biggest moments of the season, along that entire playoff run, he was absolutely dominant. Okay, 10 sacks on the season, 64 pressures on the season, but he made that massive play against Quinn Ewers on the goal line in the semifinals to go to the national championship game. Jack Sawyer is one of those guys that just has that dog in him, as people like to say. I think Jeff Hafley thinks he would fit perfect in this Green Bay defensive line. Let's talk about another guy who's been rising up some draft boards. I'm not necessarily as impressed by him as a first or second round selection, but if it comes to third round, he's still there. I would not mind one bit drafting this guy, Olawufemi Oladejo, or Femi Oladejo, as he's most commonly referred to. He's still decently young, not incredibly old, 22 years old, 6'3", 260 pounds. This last year at UCLA, he had a fine year, 57 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 33 pressures. What he's really, really good at is being really consistent and having that high motor when getting to the quarterback. He can win with speed. He can win with bend. His cross chop is a really, really good move, which is really hard to defend. You saw Leatu Latu, who was drafted last year in the first round out of UCLA, have that really, really good move as well. Unfortunately, you didn't get to see him a ton in his rookie year, but UCLA guys tend to have that in their repertoire. Olawufemi Oladejo is no different. Round 3 selection with a lot of really great projection. And maybe my biggest sleeper pick of the entire draft, Antoine Powell-Ryland out of Virginia Tech, put up unbelievable numbers in 2024. 48 pressures, 3 forced fumbles, 16 sacks on the year, 19 tackles for loss. If you get to round 4 and this guy is still on the board and you still believe you need an edge rusher, this is the selection. Now, he's a little bit older, and he's not as tall as any of those other guys are, 6'2", barely over 6'2 and a half. But still, what he was able to do at Virginia Tech, I think that'd be a steal if he falls to round 4 and you select him there. Call him out in the comment section down below. Name an edge rusher you want Green Bay to draft in the upcoming 2025 NFL Draft. We are so close, and I want to hear your answer. Make sure you guys lock us in right now by hitting that subscribe button. Help me get to 3,000 subscribers, and also help you get a daily video on the Green Bay Packers. Best one you'll find anywhere else.